Hello, I'm David Flather, grandson of Donald Flather, and this is an audio interview between my sister Patti Flather and Donald Flather, as well as his wife Grace, on October 31st, 1989, shortly before his passing in 1990, at their East Boulevard home. And he's discussing his artwork and paintings and some things about the family history as well. I hope you enjoy.
Sports or anything like that. No, what's on your mind?
I was thinking if you had thought of any more animal stories from when you were a boy.
Animal story?
Yeah.
All right.
You told me the one about the coyote outside the tent when you had to
Oh, yes.
go look for it because your dad was too scared.
Yes. Well, that was when we first landed up there within 2 or 3 days of landing all our equipment for homesteading. My dad worked for the CPR freight sheds. He was head man there, had to check out every order that was going out and everyone was coming in, see that they were correct. And that he could do quite well. But he happened to talk to a Mr. Smith, who was quite a bit older than him, who was checking out his equipment and personal belongings to go up to the Shoeshfort Lake near Celesta. And why was he going up there, my father asked? Well, the land is free, and some of it's on the slope. There's always some level land down below, which was true. And the levelish land was enough for most people to farm. So there wasn't any particular loss by having some of the land like this, although that topic was always a very great one for ribbing my father, because but he had enough level land up and down to farm really in the ordinary way in which they were farming. So that was one experience up there. And that was quite a bit for me, coming from the city of Vancouver. I didn't know much about a lot of the wildlife, particularly the bigger wildlife. I knew a lot about birds and so forth, and I identified a lot of them, so I was pretty well at home with them. But after a few mammals that I knew, wild ones, I was at a loss. And one day, after we got up there with our big tent, we had a very big tent, 28 feet long and 14 feet wide, which was remarkable to the natives. They were used to the tents maybe 14 feet long and 8 feet wide. We put 3 tents in this room. That's no exaggeration. That's what they call a tent, and where this big thing was set up, it was bigger actually than this room, a little longer. And of course, we weren't there very long for my mother particularly next day, took pity on the chickens being in their little coops in order to transfer them from Vancouver up to the Shuswap Lake, up to Celestia area. So she wanted them let out for exercise. They weren't out very long for exercise. They enjoyed the first few feet of working out the tent. But being chickens, they would walk on looking for something else that was good to eat, and on and on and on. Until they got eventually pretty close to what we use city terms, a block from our tent. And then all of a sudden there's a hullabaloo. The chickens were flying each which way. The rooster had the best lead. He came flying back towards the tent. And one by one, the hens would catch on to where he had gone. And while they might be landed over there, they'd see him back here, and then they would fly back. And practically all of the hens came back from our tent where they could be protected a bit, and were protected. We had cages for them. But one of them didn't make it. The coyote just grabbed it by its neck between two logs that had been washed up, drifting logs. And this was in the autumn, of course, the lake subsided and left these drifting logs up on the beach. And they, along the beach, were all sorts of drifting animals together like this with this and this, all sorts of places to hide. Of course, the chickens thought this was a wonderful place to go around and pick up things. Until we got about a block away from our tent. And then there was a hullabaloo. The chickens, I might say, were prime stock. My father at that time was very much interested in Vancouver and having top-notch leghorns to lay eggs. And he had a market for the eggs. Yes, Vancouver interfering.
Just reading.
Yeah, we were painting on glass before I met you.
On glass?
On glass.
Small paintings on
Like postcard size. On glass before I ever knew.
So you must have liked art when you were just a young boy or a young man.
We had flowers when he was about 2 years of age, too.
I wouldn't be very old when I was painting on glass. I'd be maybe,
You're welcome to some too. It's different kind of sauce in there. Excuse me, I can't think of the name. I know he loved to pick flowers because when they were living in Shuswap Lake or Sorrento, I'm not sure which one, but they wandered away along the lake shore, and it's gone quite a while, so quite loves that Chardon. There's 2 or 3 gardens usually. And he was picking flowers, and my goodness, he wandered about a mile along the lakeside, picking flowers.
What did you like to paint when you started out on the glass?
There are a couple of my paintings,
well, perhaps you think
figures.
could you go?
Yeah.
Have you looked at one of the,
They're two right on the wall.
the one sitting on the bed floor, painting another flower and rolling
I
on?
forget if that one is there.
Well, I started that fairly, started that fairly early because even in elementary school, I was going well enough, not with any particular intention, but just to try to do it well. And the teachers always came around to my desk
Yes, the one that you mentioned is here.
to,
This one.
oh,
Baby one, I think it's a Christmas present when I was at normal school.
that's quite low.
It's Stampy though, isn't it?
So the teachers would come around to your desk?
And when the inspectors are on, and they pull out my artwork to show them rather than somebody else's from the room. And I wasn't doing it to sort of show off anything at all. I was doing it to try to make a fairly good picture. Those are quite old, 25 years or so.
Oh my gosh, I had those before I married you.
Well, what century did you marry me?
Oh, it was 19th.
No, it'd be the 20th century.
Oh, 20th, I guess that's right. Yes, we are the 20th.
Yes, and these were a little bit, you might say, to do something like that was the rage at the time, because the silver backing formed a good highlight for the different sky colors put on with just paint and our paintbrush, an ordinary pointed paintbrush. And you could make a good combination of them. They could sparkle to the background. And then you could use just silhouettes. And they were quite a popular painting item those years.
Were you in grade 7 or 8 or 9 or
Later than that.
9?
It would be,
Medicine hat?
maybe it would be about grade 9.
Oh, that's
Because
normal school.
they wouldn't, they hadn't been around to solicit at that time.
Pass me the sandwich, please, Donald. And I put cheese, Swiss cheese on there. Would you like a piece of Swiss cheese?
No, thank you.
Would you
It
like
has to be Canadian cheese.
Swiss Armstrong? That's BC.
Well, why didn't you say Armstrong cheese?
Well,
You missed your chance there.
so I did. Well, Armstrong's in BC anyway. We've been through it lots of times.
Yes, yeah.
So how did you develop your art?
Pretty well on my own. And it wasn't to be smarty pants or anything like that, you know. Just something I could do in the off minutes in the evening or something like that. That would be sort of an interesting challenge. I had done several along the line of that little fairy painting the flowers in the morning. Not copies of that, but the same general theme.
doing bigger paintings or pictures?
Well, these, such as these, came along in what I'd have to say recent times compared to that, you see. But those were the bases, and the small paintings like that were very popular at the time. So quite a few topics could be used, and some people sold their paintings like that. I never did. I didn't. Once I made a fairly good one, I didn't want to sell it.
Why not?
Well, I was earning money other ways, working in the daytime and so on. I never felt compelled to that degree.
I guess so much good, you just wanted to keep it.
Yes, there was a lot in that. And if I gave it to my mother, of course I wouldn't take it back. And all sorts of little details like that.
If you gave it to me after we got married, I'd still have it.
Yes,
Give me a sandwich, another
yeah.
sandwich, please, dear Mother.
I just had lunch.
Nobody's counting you.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody counts calories in this house.
I didn't know your mother was away. I think I talked to her last night or night before. Oh, well, it was on the B, not to contact you. Oh, then she did phone me back. I guess it must be night before last.
Were there points in your art where you remember special influences or?
Not special influences in the one sense. But whenever the school inspectors came around, the teachers were always sure to pull out my portfolio and show the work that the class had done. But that was all, let's say, demand work for the classwork. Such and such an exercise had to be done, and then another one had to be done. You see that kind of prescribed work.
What about as you got older? How did you develop your style of painting?
Well, excuse me. Somehow or other, I can't tell you how right now. But I got to know the group of 7 Canadian painters, top-notch painters,
Canadian painting.
and some of the people associated with them who might not be painters, but had quite a bit of influence. And I got in with that group, and after I had no intention of sort of burrowing into that group, it just was automatically fell into that group. And from that time on, I had a coterie, a ring of friends, you see, who are associated very much with art and painting, anything like that, artistic. And I was put into one job after another over the years. Too torturous to try to explain to you. I'd be secretary of the group of 7 Canadian artists, or some other member like that. Not one of the group of 7 painters. And then,
Dr. Lawren Harris was
Yes,
the Canadian president.
yes, Lawren
And
Harris,
Don was the treasurer.
yes.
of the,
A group of Canadian painters.
was that,
What was the proper name? Group of 7?
No, Canadian artists. Well, there was the group of
Yes,
7.
there was a group of 7 which was very famous in Canadian art. They were all in the Art Association anyway.
Harris.
Yes,
There was a Thompson. There's a man who was drowned.
yes.
I don't.
so at one point Lawren Harris was president and you were secretary of
Yes,
the
yes.
National Arts.
Tom Thompson was the one who was drowned
So the canoe.
out in the canoe fishing. And quite a story back of that. He, of course, lived in Toronto, and he went down to Toronto every autumn to live there, and then up spring came along, and up he'd go back on the lakes, one lake after another, and lived there. And, well, he became enamored of one of the Indian ladies up there, who was, you might say, not the bride, but this lady was a companion of an Indian, you see, naturally. But she liked Tom Thompson better than the Indian. So you could see things were brewing up there. And one summer, Tom Thompson was found drowned in one piles of rubbish in the water. He was sticking up maybe 3 or 4 feet in a wild lake. You could find these things almost anywhere. But anyway, he was drowned, and that raised quite a hullabaloo and quite an investigation, but they couldn't prove which Indian was involved.
Do you remember when you met do you remember when you met some of the members of the group of 7?
Lawren Harris has lived in Vancouver. And down in
Yes.
Oh, and his wife's name was Beth. She's dead now too.
What do you want to bring in those others?
No.
Well, anyhow, because I was working with I don't like to use the group of 7 title, because there were more than that. There was a group of 7 in our group.
Canadian artists.
This would be better. The Association of Canadian Artists would be very close to the proper title. And we always got together, and if we don't know,
I'm trying to put it together.
okay. And if there were a good artist coming through, we'd make arrangements. I would address our group or anybody else who wanted to come. In other words, we were pretty well in solidly with the artist group. We weren't just tag-alongs, because a lot of the people were top-notch artists themselves.
Sharp,
Sharp, yeah.
Billings,
North Billings, yes.
Hartford, Tweed,
Thank you,
all
Grace.
those places.
Yes. Well, you see, all those were top-notch Canadian artists. The last two Grace mentioned were BC.
Vancouver, Vancouver.
BC was postman. So you see, I moved during that circle quite a bit, most of the time acting as secretary or something like that.
Treasurer.
Treasurer, yes, almost always treasurer.
He can keep the money though.
Didn't help me any.
Did that have an effect on you being around those other artists and seeing their
Well, that was right into the artist.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That I was made the treasurer of their fund. And that was really before they became quite formally organized, and gradually became quite organized from that. So you might say that was right from the beginning of anything like an association forming the Canadian Artist.
When did you start working with them?
Gee whiz. Way back anyway.
Was that before, no, must have been after we were married, wasn't it? We were married in 1930.
Oh, yes.
Would it be after that?
No, before that.
Before that. He got his BA in 1930. His
Maybe
master's
in the
in 39.
20s. I knew a lot of these people informally anyway, so it was a very easy matter to drop in on their meetings if I wanted to drop on a meeting without being invited. Well, that was okay. I don't know whether that happened, but that's how informed it was. So I knew all of these people. No, you. Whenever there was something like an organized show, using these group of 7 and others related to them, I was always involved in the coordination of the work. Although I wasn't a painter myself, although I did a little on that.
This painting's from near Penticton, isn't it? You know, the tree over the cliff.
Yes, I mean, that was a famous tree. The CPR used that for much of its advertising over William Lake. It was a beautiful run. The railway ran fairly close to the wall, maybe 50 feet above the water level. And the road for cars and such was up about halfway up on the hillside, quite a bit higher, so a very fine view all across the lake.
That was the road.
And
I forget it.
we do. It wasn't Okanagan Lake.
Cut, no. Cut, did it start with K? Never mind, I interrupted.
I looked on the map, I could find it immediately.
It'll come to us.
What was Lawren Harris like?
Well, he had already established himself as a first-class artist, quite informally. And there were these group of men in the East, and I think 2 women, one anyway, in this group. And about that time, they decided to form this artist association. So I'm of artists who are associated.
Is Nancy Bakewell in that?
Yes, but she's not a very well-known painter, Grace. And, well, I don't know where to go from here.
What was he like as a person?
Pardon?
What was Lawren Harris like as a person?
Oh, very lovely. Very,
He's quite charming,
yes, very genial and charming.
polished and
Polished, yes.
kindly.
Yes, he was quite polished, and his wife was quite polished too.
His best.
Best, yes.
Very nice.
Almost for a number of years, 5 or 6 years. New Year's Eve was spent by the painters around the boat, whoever they were, if they were known, by invitation to Lawren Harris's home. And it became a tradition, you see.
Invitations to meet.
Lawren Harris's
Oh, I
home.
see.
And of course that meant really, well, we began to meet more people, more artists, and know more about each one. In other words, it was a fairly active group, not only in painting, but socially.
You'd like it warmed a little, wouldn't you?
Like that.
Like your I could ask for tea, and that was my function. Pretty small job.
A lot of that time was informal. Although we did have meetings fairly often, but not because of any particular day or date, but just because we wanted to meet together. So if we could find an excuse, we used it. And that kept us fairly well in touch with the movements in oil painting.
And one of the reasons you told me that you wanted to go to Baffin Island, the north end of it, you wanted me to go too. I'm not interested in geology, he is, rocks and such things. But Lawren Harris had painted, done a painting of that island, the bird sanctuary, which is right opposite our Pond Inlet Hotel. And so that was a good excuse to ask me to go. I just went for company, but my goodness, that was an exciting trip to Baffin Island. Up with the Inuits. They don't want to be called Eskimos, because that means eaters of raw flesh. They want to be called Inuits. But we saw the bird sanctuary just across the salty water, not very far, the inlet. Where the tides came in twice a day, and the other ocean tides, I guess. Where did you get the inspiration for this one?
That, let's see, that was beside a little lake that we went to 2 or 3 times. Let's say on the 24th of May weekend or something like that. And the north end of that lake was a trail leading up into the woods. And this was a little hill off beside the trail. And later on, that fall we went up again, there'd been a fire in that area. Hence those black sticks that you see.
I always love the colors of that. Quite a few of them. And that's another,
Well, that's in the same area.
tall trees.
What
And
kind
big
of
rocks.
trees are they?
Birches or something. Oh,
Yes. Give me a point for that.
green is up at the top, like that birch at the front
Mhm.
on the telephone.
In springtime, birches in springtime.
Now, where do you get the inspiration for that?
Somebody threw their teeth at me.
Well, I like the colors in that, the upper colors, brown and pale.
No, that one is an abstract, pretty well totally invented piece,
Mhm.
except for the center five that you see there.
But some workers cut that nice big tree. Donald was so disappointed one time we went along the road.
So is the steepy
Slashed
arm.
it down.
That was a famous tree on the side of the cliff there. The CPR used it a great deal in photographs from the east to show them what the scenery would be like along the road. And that lake was, what was the name of that lake? Canadian?
Well, is that south of Penticton? Yes.
Oh, Middleton. Climbing out from Penticton.
Climbing up the hill, we get up near that. Well, maybe we'll come. I remember where we were. I was taking second year English at UBC, and you and Al we went up to this lake in the autumn. So of course I didn't want to go fishing. I stayed
What
in,
lake is it? The title is on that little paper.
well, I can take it in a minute. So I stayed in the little cabin we hired while Donald and Al went out fishing. And I was studying second year English, I think. Or was I writing an essay? I think.
Partly, I'm studying secondary English too.
And this is another one.
Well, that's Lake Garibaldi.
This one's Lake Garibaldi. And it's got a very original frame, if you notice.
I don't think you saw that actual one. I and another man followed the path down from there's a roadway that led up to the highlands and the high gravel deposits that blocked the drainage of this water down into the valley. And this gradually formed this lake, Garibaldi Lake.
And he made the frame too. Of course, Barry and his dry sense of humor, like his dad. We can't afford good frames yet, but when we get wealthy, we'll have real frames. This and the same with these that are in here. One of the burrowing, not Torritos, was it? That it holes in the wood. The bed. No, it's the burrowing that has holes. Was that Torrito holes?
Torritos.
The wood is not strong, it's so burrowed into by these round insects. But I like that frame. It's not strong, but it's pretty. So Barry was kidding. The Hardwick boys, Dr. Walter now and Dr. David, they were all here at somebody's birthday party. I think it was Barry's, was it? And he was kidding about Barry was kidding about the picture frames. But I think they're suitable to the pictures.
What do you like about painting, Grandpa?
Well, that's a little hard to say. I had been fairly good in elementary school.
Yes.
in drawing. And we didn't do much painting with things. But I had done one or two small paintings. Most of them people of that proportion, some might be this way. And whenever the school inspector came around, whoever our teacher was always came to my desk and took out these paintings and sketches which had been done in class. Now, they were all laid down by the curriculum. So we had to do them, but I would give them with a little bit of insight. And I said, I don't think that's too strong a word. And darned if they weren't always pulled out whenever an inspector came around to show what the art was like in the class.
Why not the best, eh? Why not always have the best?
Why did you keep doing it for so many years?
Now, once a person develops a fairly good skill in any line, you never really drop it.
Look how Patty's developed a good writing now.
Lots of people have skills in high school or elementary school and they don't pursue them.
I'll agree with that. It's a bit of a tragedy. But I never went to high school. Not for long.
Not in BC. You went to medicine hall, grade 9, for part of the year.
Yes.
Why did you go to medicine?
Because that was
Medicine hall.
yes, but
There's
really,
no high school.
just more.
So this,
We had a very close friend, one Chris Riley, who had a brother,
that's big,
Ed Riley, who was about 3 years younger than Chris, and Ed was about 1 year older than I was. So we often mixed around together because our interests were not like a lot of people to sit down and booze. None of us really drank. I don't remember drinking. It might be that Chris had to sometimes when he went out to a formal meeting. I won't say anything about that, but drinking alcoholic beverage was an extremely rare occurrence, for which we were thankful, believe it or not, because we could see what it was doing with other people when we were free of that law. So that stood us in pretty good stead when I had a friend, Ed Riley, who had a brother, Chris Riley. On this particular summer, Chris had just finished his teacher training in Alberta, and immediately he was snapped up by the school board in Medicine Hat, and for teaching physical education and then 1 or 2 other subjects on his timetable. So out fishing one day, on a summer day, I guess it'd be August.
You and Chris Riley.
Yes. And there was a little bay on Shoeshortly where Grandfather Riley, the father of Chris Riley, Ned Riley, was almost sure to pick up a fish. We could see him, he'd get out and circle the bay, and somewhere in the bay he had a fish on his line. So this is going to become an academic topic pretty soon. So there were the three of us in the rowboat. Now, I had used something like this. If we were to circle this bay, we would likely pick up a fish. Chris tried to jump me, what did you say? I said if we were to circle this bay with our trolling line, we were very likely to get a bite and pick up a fish. Where did you get that? That's pretty long words of you. Well, I told him, and one day over in Seminar, I went to get my teeth fixed. The return train didn't come through till 6 o'clock in the afternoon. I had to get at 6 o'clock in the morning at Notch Hill, then wander around Seminar. When it was time to go down to the station and pick up the train going back the opposite way. And so I browsed around, and in a bookstore I saw a table. I can't give you the exact title now. Can you?
West's Grammar. You know what West's Grammar for 25 cents.
Right, thank you, Grace. West's English Grammar. And I was browsing out at the counter about that. I hadn't any attention when I picked it up and buying it. And then I sort of read a little bit more. So this is what the teachers were trying to tell us, to teach us. Well, I did a little bit of that. All the way through the book, there was some topic that the teachers were trying to teach us.
And you had the 25 cents
I
in
had
your
the
pocket.
25 cents in my pocket and bought that book. And I would study it every night after work. In summertime, you have to go to bed rather early to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and go to work. So I would take that book with me along. This is a single 5-needle pine out on cliffs like this, well up above the lake. What's lake? Kalamalka Lake. Kalamalka Lake. And
Came to you.
the CBR used this for years to advertise the scenic beauties of Kalamalka and all around about there where the CBR had its railway and stations.
Here's another.
Did you ever show your work?
And what do you mean show that? Because that, not as a big show in itself, no. I've had one or two in, I can't remember which ones this likely has been in, and very likely that one somewhere. I can't tell you where they were.
Well, I wanted to see this little, and take 2 seconds. Now, it could be upside down, this or this, it's just a abstract. Okay,
Oh, yes, yes.
How did you meet?
Well, I was always friendly with it, but I wasn't in a close friendship circle. But we had an organization for artists, and she was in it, and I was, let's see, secretary for a while, and what do you call the person who looks after the money?
What did you think of Emily Carr? What did you think of her and her painting?
Emily Carr? Oh, I like the abstracts, mostly. Yes. Go ahead and explain.
I'm just looking at this totem pole here,
Oh.
in this painting.
Doorway to Nevermore, it says in that.
This, yes. This, in a sense, is to regret the passing of the Indian and the true Indian art, you see. This, I don't get in the way, is a doorway let after the rest of the building has gone into a shambles of an Indian residence, you see. Here's another pole through the corner, and this is a park pole, you see. This is the doorway to go through.
Doorway to Nevermore.
That's what the title was, because symbolic on the yes.
Where did you find these?
Pardon?
Where did you find this totem?
Oh, that, that wasn't here. With these others, I found this standing where another building had been quite a distance away. It might have been another village of that, and I added quite a bit to it. The chairs I know added, they were only up on the cheap.
Was it on Vancouver Island or was it West
no.
Coast Indian?
West Coast Indian, mainland I think, but it's so long ago now. When I was doing these, Vancouver Island was just as good as on Grey here, you see. I wouldn't make a particular note of it. Are you going in there?
Yes.
You've learned some of the Indian legends too.
Oh
right?
yes, oh I knew quite, a lot of them are gone, but I could go back. This is the end of a day, more or less the end of a period, the end of an Indian's group there. Yes, when they're neglecting their totems and everything else, like when the Indian influence has been replaced by, shall we say, the Canadian influence. That's the significance of this one.
Did you feel sad about that?
Oh yes, I still don't like to see the Indian eliminated. Although there's a tendency now today to hold on more to it than there was when I did this.
Do you think it's important for people to learn some of the stories?
Oh yes, yes. I've forgotten a lot of it. I used to know a lot of their stories.
Here's some more.
So I guess we're summoned in here.
How did you learn those stories?
Well,
He's a great reader, you know.
yes, yes,
Voracious reader.
yes. I think that would be the most likely way through reading.
He's always reading.
I'm always getting scolded for wasting my time.
Well, you see the books, I don't know what in Hades will do with everything. This room used to be a ping pong room, and the piano was over there. And then your dad bought the piano, and I guess he still has it, hasn't he? Yeah, I like that.
Yes, those are up the Squamish Inlet.
One moment. Mount Garibaldi, the more distant peak, and Squamish, the nearer peak. From Lookout, 1 mile south, January 69.
These are the two peaks mentioned. Now, do you want to repeat the names of these two peaks, Grace?
Mount Garibaldi, the more distant peak, and Squamish, the nearer peak.
Garibaldi is that one. This is Mount Squamish.
The nearer peak. Autumn larches, Anna's area, canoe, sycamores. No. Evening, no sun. Quiet after a violent
Storm.
outflow, Arctic cold,
Yes.
through sketch November the 11th, 1970.
Oh, that's pretty.
There's an eagle here, perched, and there's another one flying around somewhere there.
You've got something written here, can't read it.
The evening house out. This is a seagull. Yeah,
Double pointing blues, I guess this is a
that's right.
abstract. Radiations red and purple, another abstract. What's it? What's it? Saghorn in greens and rose. Oh, those are nice colors.
Yeah.
Oh, that was in the way, isn't it? Autumn sumac, Typhria, can't see. East of Fort Francis, that's in Ontario. River Seine. East of Fort Francis,
I don't think
isn't
it's.
that in Ontario where we took a camp one night when we were driving across Canada?
I don't know.
Autumn sumac, Typhria. Well, that's the end of the pictures there, isn't it?
Yes, these are just blanks.
Right, okay, that's something else, I don't know what that is up there.
That's a winter scene.
What is it?
That's up Mount Revelstoke.
Oh,
Top of Mount Revelstoke. This is the center there where tea is served inside and so on.
yes, we've been there with the boys in the
We've
summer.
been there several times. So,
Do you usually take photographs or sketches?
no, sketches mostly. I often have a little bit of impatience. I have to remember
There's no name on this.
all
Do you-
about it.
Do you take notes on the colors?
I can remember those. I know environment quite well. You know, throughout BC and Alberta, Eastern Canada, I know environment, so I don't bother noting what the color is unless it's maybe just one building like that, you see.
No, it's sort of like this, explosions in yellow and blues. Isn't that knock your eye out? It's quite cheerful, and I don't know, there's another of these, what's it? Read it. I can't read upside down as quickly.
Wiggle, wiggle.
Squiggle wiggle. Oh, there's a solemn thing.
Yes.
The
Future.
future, question mark. Here's another loud.
Let's see this one.
Oh,
Have you seen this one?
No.
At that ghosts of the Quinault forest. There was a big fire around Quinault. Now, Quinault is just below the BC border in Oregon. And there was a big, this Quinault area was there were a lot of streams and mud puddles and that and so forth. And there was a fire went through there one one summer. So it left all these stark trunks.
Do you think that's a little like Emily Carr would do?
I don't know, I didn't
No, of
ask
course,
her.
she has brought in charcoal. This is called Blue Tree,
Oh, yes.
just a blue tree. And I don't know what this is, I haven't read it yet. Parebush. Bare Bush Lake, is it? The like Bare Bush Lake, I can't read it.
Bare Bush Lake.
Bare Bush Lake. Here's another, take the other off. Oh, I see. I can't read upside down here.
Tumbling leaves.
Tumbling leaves, like autumn, I guess.
This one was sketched, and I painted the year the road went through from West Vancouver up to Squamish. And these are trees beside the road which had been burned and clearing up the rubbish.
This looks not like another abstract. I don't think there's anything written on it. Here's another abstract.
How would you describe your painting style
Well, it all depends.
or styles?
Yes, I lay the paint on just moderately thick, not enormously thick. I don't use the palette knife technique. I use a brush. I might use a palette knife sometimes to smooth out an area in here or something, but not to get it too rugged, unless it was the natural way in which the area looked.
Circular composition.
Yes, that's
Wait, all right, here's another. AP4.
one day when the minister got so doggone boring, I began to look at the colored windows. Not that one, the other one.
This one?
No,
Oh, this one?
no,
Oh, this one, the
Yeah.
yellow.
Yeah.
You mean this one?
yes,
Oh, yes, colored windows, that's pretty.
it's better than the sermon.
We won't tell him that, him or her. STAIN, stained glass pattern. Well, that is pretty. Tired toadstools. Moonlight. And I don't know.
Take that one right off, please. And we put it down over there. And we put
On the chest here.
Yes, chest.
Here's another abstract. Can you, I don't know, put it in there or something. I'll take it from you if I can. So there's another abstract. And here's another. Mighty Downfall. Well, I can't hold them much longer. They're cold. Well, I didn't let them fall. You can say that for me. And this is the cord from our electric organ upstairs.
Put it on the
Chesterfield. It's wedged. Look at that.
Just about fixed.
Well, I just got a little bit of string. Can you handle it?
Yes, doing very well at it.
Good. Good kid. I don't know where we left off.
Well, don't try to go through them all.
Yeah, we can't go through them all.
Yeah, well, there's some hanging up. There's stained glass windows, we've done that. Oh, I think only one or two more in there.
Which is this large one here with an island and a
Copper
sky? Copper Island?
Do you know it at all? It's in the Shuswap Lake here. Don't leave it with the painting out. Leave it with the painting in, Grace, for protection.
Okay, that's fine. I shall turn it so it can't stumble on it too much. Yeah, this is right near the roadside as we come from our Christopher Farm going down to the bridge right.
Now, to give you just a moment, Grace, if you stand aside,
Yes, let me get out of here a bit.
to give you an idea. Grace, back out of there,
Yes,
please.
I will. There.
Do you know Flying Bay at all? Well, it's one of the bays on the Shuswap Lake. Actually, it's directly behind here, about 2 miles. You see, this goes in and that goes in to form Blind Bay. Now, Salmon Arm direction would be just about over there, around this corner and back, and Salmon Arm would be found over there, here and there. And these were trees in the foreground
And is this late summer?
there.
Is there a little, is that yellow light on the trees from the sunshine, or is that?
Mostly sunshine, but it is late summer. They're not late enough that these in the foreground would be dropping their needles, but they're pretty close to it.
At that great week behind, a German housekeeper we had for 2.5 years, she loved that one. And she was from Stuttgart, Germany, an excellent cook, about 5'8", wonderful cook. This made her lonesome. She loved that painting with the geese flying over and evening.
Are you going to tell me they're geese?
Well, whatever birds they are. They're not crows, I know. They're ducks, maybe. Ducks. But she liked the purple. I think lots of people get lonesome at evening. And she
That
liked
was
that.
on one of the lakes. Do you remember this lake, Grace?
Johnson, was it?
Yes.
Johnson Lake.
And
Where we visit sometimes.
Where's Johnson Lake?
Somewhere near Kamloops. Where is it?
in the rough territory north of
North
Kamloops.
Kamloops.
And the 2 little islands here and one at the back at evening. And the ducks begin to fly around quite a bit at evening and then feeding quite a bit in the afternoon.
Just like our Vancouver birds,
And
4 or 5
we will
o'clock.
be flying to find good places to be safe for the night.
Well, we pass up all these things, I don't know what they are, rose, lavender, and green, I guess it's
Abstract?
I guess so.
Mm-hmm.
Another one. I don't know if there's much in here or not. Reaching. I don't know what's in there. Well, I don't know, it's hard to see. They're all over the place.
I like the colors in this one. There's lots of turquoise and orange.
Those are very true colors. That's what caught my eye. And we're down at a neighbor's, Mrs. Riley Sr., and she would be her cabin up from the beach, Margaret Delaney, up at the cabin about here. And we had all this area of the ice appearing to be green, except for the water was, and this sunlight, you see, it's just after sunset.
That's on Shuswap Lake,
Yeah.
and she's the sister of Ed Riley and the other Riley's, Chris Riley.
Fresh pine.
And this is at spring breakup. Is
Yes,
that right?
yes.
So there's a bit of ice
Yes.
beside us
Oh,
of
yes,
the
a lot
lake.
of ice coming in and open water reflecting the sky.
Pretty, isn't it? And this clock was made by Donald's only brother, Lawren, when he was overseas, I guess. Was this part of an airplane broken?
Yes,
In his
yes.
spare time, I don't know if that was in Africa or where he was, but he made this clock. The clock is there. And he sent it, when he was killed, I think, a lot of his things were sent home to his parents. So that's like a keepsake of Donald's only brother, Lawren, squadron leader Lawren Flather, your dad's uncle. Here's a pretty abstract. I think you've got no name on it, Donald.
Well, look at the next one then.
I don't know. Are they stuck? They're stuck. Oh, I don't like that girl. I don't like that girl.
Too much of a lie.
I don't like naked women.
Oh,
What's this? I can't see.
It's another abstract, looks like based on a model.
I think it is.
I see 2 feet here. You haven't got anything written about that woman. I don't know what
It is a semi-abstract with a woman on the couch.
Well, I think those might be there. Not
all of them.
It looks like there's a very nice one in the back, a big one with lots of ice. It's a blue sky and beautiful icy mountain.
Yes.
Is that one of those mountains on Vancouver Island or North Vancouver?
No, right up a little bit north of here, that's all.
I don't know.
Oh, it's Black Tusk. Of course, it's Black Tusk.
That's right, Black Tusk.
Oh, Black Tusk Mountain.
Yes,
Oh, Black Tusk is like an enormous tooth.
well, that's how it gets its name.
Black Tusk. Well, I guess it's too hard to get to the back. But I think it has quite a number of pretty paintings. And this is lumber. See, more Torito wood. When you'll ever get to use that? Trying to find them.
Don't you worry.
I won't.
Now here's a painting, it says Royal Isle, Rose Isle,
Punxsy Lake.
and then in brackets it says excellent fishing here.
Yes.
Yes, you just get your
Line in the water and there's another fish on.
Yes.
Just about where the shadow of Grace's head is. All around in here. Now, this went around the other side. Here, you see. And the fishing wasn't as good over there, but this side, it was remarkable.
Just put them in. You hardly get it fastened before, tick, and then there's another fish. But they fed on the algae in the bottom of the lake. And it's too bad that the flesh of the fish was sort of flavored by the algae.
Now where is Punxsy Lake?
Punxsy Lake is way west of Williams, west of Williams Lake, up in the Chilcotin area.
And in this painting you put your paint on a bit thicker.
Yes, yes. To give the effect of the leaves up here more particularly, and this sunset with the clouds gathering in there.
That's quite a pretty place to be. Even if we didn't have electricity in there for cooking in the cabin we hired. What's this? Oh dear, scared the wits out of me. Did I knock that over? Where was it? And we have to
Turn it around
turn it around so it won't.
and lean it down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hope that won't touch.
I'll put it over in the next
Yes, that might
one.
be safer. That might punch a hole in it.
Take this one out so that you can see it better.
Oh, this is this animal the skull. His dad was coming home. I guess I was with him. I don't. Well, I could back out a little further.
All right, go right out then.
I don't want to knock anything else over.
This was on the Fort Princeton
Was
Road.
this side of?
Take it out.
This side of Hope?
Was it this side of Hope?
No,
Was it up,
other side of Hope.
The other side
was
of
it
Hope.
Up in the
No,
woods?
what had happened here? This was an old logging trail that went down into the valley, quite deep, and it would be pretty close to 3 miles to get into the valley up to the winding. Now, about this, well, they had to plow out the snow whenever there's a snowfall along the road. The road would run about here.
How did you want me to
Just,
say?
just a moment, Grace. Don't break in. And this was an old logging trail that went down to the bottom of the valley.
And there's lots of trees in this valley.
Yes, yes. And just out here would be where the road, would be going along. And the snow off the road would be piled up over this.
Over the skull.
Yes, surely. And what had happened, I had to piece together. I had to walk down here quite a distance, pretty well to the bottom, before I got all the story. Now, the story was this. The snow plows had plowed out a big furrow of snow here. Down in the bottom of the valley, the wolves had scared up this deer. And the deer was heading for the high parts of the cliffs, of the hills roundabout, because there the snow wasn't deep. But the deer possibly did not know about this trail. He was likely going through the forest, which didn't have much snow on it. But anyway, he got up here, and there's a big snow pile across here where the snow had been plowed off the road for the traffic to go along. And this poor deer couldn't get through the deep snow. His fine feet, which would be about like that,
Sink in the snow.
sank, punched right through the snow, and there he was, legs way down, buried in the snow. Very hard to pull each leg out and take another step. In the meantime, the wolves had come up here,
And had a good meal.
had a really good meal out of that
Poor animal.
deer. Yeah, that's the story back in that.
Oh.
There, that's that one.
Put it over there, please. We'll fix them up afterwards. Put it over there, please.
Yep.
No,
Are there any more you want to show me?
well, it has to be Patti saying what we,
I think we saw that one. Yeah, another one of the totems.
But never mind, or something.
the end of the,
The end of the day.
just a moment, the end of the Indians' time. No more totems are being carved.
Let me see.
Some new ones are being carved now.
Oh, yes, yes.
There's been a bit of a revival now, I
Just a
guess.
moment, let
There are a
me,
few in behind this door, and then you've got the whole upstairs.
well, we're
You
not
can't
going-
see it all.
We can't see it all.
You can see some if you go faster. Well, I don't know what there is in here.
I don't want to go so fast that I don't see them, so that we don't get to talk about them. Now this one is another autumn one, Autumn Splendor.
Yes, the colors there.
There's a little cabin in the midst of all the trees that are yellow and orange.
Autumn splendor, autumn hills, say, along Hope, autumn hills along Hope Princeton Road. There, could I put this in here? Somewhere where we don't get, and
Some other time, Grace.
well, it's right in there. Who knows when?
Hello again, this is David Flather, and I'd like to take the time to thank you for listening to my sister Patti Flather interviewing our grandfather Donald Flather and his wife Grace in October 1989. I hope that you found it interesting and insightful into both his life as well as his paintings.